Okay, well, moving on now. Lesotho is one of the hardest places in the world to be a woman. 23% of the population are HIV positive. Over 10% of 14 to 25-year-old women are HIV positive. 92 out of 1,000 women there will become pregnant before they reach 20, and the country's economy is crippled. Rape culture and domestic abuse is normalised, and education is withdrawn from women once they become pregnant. This cycle of poverty is unending, and yet again women are the worst affected. With just one extra year of education, a girl can earn 20% more as an adult, and as educated mothers they are more than twice as likely to send their children to school. Receiving an education would completely change these women and their community's prospects, and with this aim the Good Shepherd Centre opened its doors. I'm joined in the studio now by Mabel Rack, who's going to tell us more about the Good Shepherd Centre and what they're doing over there. Hi, Mabel.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about the Good Shepherd Centre and also about the Women of the Year project, which is a project I'm working on as an assistant producer. It's a film about the women who run and attend the centre and the centre's great work. So the centre does bring in vulnerable women and give them a place to care for their children, to care for themselves and to learn useful skills. They've got trade in their communities. They can learn animal husbandry, gardening, sewing, and a lot of the women go on to set up small businesses. These women are usually orphans and from bad backgrounds, and they are teenage mothers, so they're under 20 and they've all got babies who the centre also helps them care for.
I'll just slow you down a little bit because there's a lot of information there for people to take in. First of all, let's start off with the centre. It's the first centre in Lesotho for teenage mothers.
Yeah, it's close to the capital city of Maseru. Okay. So it's in an agricultural area, but it's near a city, and women from all over the area come to go to the centre because it's the only place they can really receive support and education. Yeah.
So give us an idea about Lesotho itself, just as a country. I mean, how big's the population?
It's about the size of Wales. So it's not in size of the country, but in size of the population. It's actually really linked to Wales, which is part of why I was brought on the project. And there's a lot of cross-pollination of ideas and culture with Wales and Lesotho. So I've seen pictures of lovely children from Lesotho on St David's Day holding daffodils, and lots of teachers from Welsh schools go over there and teach Welsh to the children. So we're really linked with Lesotho.
Yeah.
And it's a completely landlocked country. I think it's the only country that's completely above sea level. It's mountainous. It's not what you probably picture when you picture Africa, but it's completely surrounded by South Africa. It's a really unique country, but it's very similar to us in some ways. So it's been amazing to work on the project, to kind of put myself in the position of those women, because I'm so similar and so different from them as well.
Yeah.
I have so many opportunities that they don't, and it's been amazing to be part of it, to part of hopefully giving them back their opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, you know, I know you're only 19 as well, so you're probably a similar age to a lot of the women who are in this centre.
Yeah, I am. It's been really eye-opening to see how awful their situations can be, and how it's made me feel very humbled, very lucky.
So how different is a typical teenage girl's life to yours here in Cardiff, in Wales?
Well, in Lesotho, the average life expectancy is about 49, so over half of the population is under 25. A lot of families are run by the children. A lot of parents die young, and a lot of teenage mothers will find that their partners die young, or that they are left without a partner. They're at risk of a lot of they're at risk of being raped, and a risk of being infected by the disease. They often can't get to clinics to have their children treated for the disease, so often their children get the disease. It's a lot of stress, I can imagine. I mean, I don't have to worry about any of that. They don't even have access to proper contraception or medical health care. So, I'm in a completely different situation, obviously, and just to be part of hopefully helping them have a voice as well. I mean, I can get here and come on the radio and tell you about a project I'm working on and tell you about myself, and all they've got for their outlet to create a dialogue about their lives is this film that Tabella Rose is making in Lesotho at the moment.
Okay. So, we've got a bit of background there. I'm just really sort of fascinated. I don't know whether fascinated is the right word. That the majority of the population are like sort of under 25s, and all these households run by children, because they're literally aren't any adults there.
Yeah, it's crazy. The economy has been completely destroyed almost, and it's the same through a lot of Africa. All the trade routes where HIV spreads very easily.
Yeah.
The economy is broken down because there's no old people to kind of hold it up.
Yeah. Do you know if there's much education around HIV?
Yeah, there are schools and there are clinics and there are obviously aid efforts to get people to learn about it.
Yeah.
But obviously the population is big and there's not enough that we can do really. The best cure for poverty is to educate and to better the situation of women. It's been proven to raise the standard of living in any one area if women are better cared for. So this Good Shepherd Centre, its work is invaluable. It's incredibly important. And then they've commissioned this documentary about them to help them better their work. So originally it was a research project conducted by Tabella Rose, but she's heard so many amazing stories, such inspiring things that she feels like it's really important to get these things out there for us to see. And hopefully when this documentary comes out, it will encourage more donations. It will incite a public dialogue about this country that many people don't know anything about it. I mean, a lot of people I've spoken to don't even know where Lesotho is. So when I was researching, I could only find one article on UNICEF about this, about Lesotho, about the droughts there and about the AIDS crisis there.
Yeah.
So I went out and I did the research and wrote my own article, which is available online. If you want to find it, you can find it on all of our Facebook pages. You just have to Google Women of the Year Lesotho. I think our Indiegogo page is one of the first ones on the list, and then it's Facebook. And our Indiegogo page only has 43 hours left to donate now. So if you want to donate to the cause, to help the film get out there, to help the women in the centre, then now is the time to do it.
Okay. What I'll do later on, I'll put the link to that on my Facebook page anyway, and on the Radio Cardiff Facebook page. That's not a problem at all. Let's get back to this documentary. Sorry, I forget the name of the filmmaker. I do apologise.
It's fine. It's Tabello. It's a Basotho name. Basotho is the name for the language and for the people in Lesotho.
So over last year now, she was filming?
Yeah, she's been there since the beginning of 2015, I think. She's been there for quite a while, just collecting footage and researching the women. So she goes out and speaks to past attendees and current attendees of the centre to find out how their lives are developing and find out how the centre has helped them. So it's better informing the centre as well as, telling us about their lives.
Is it a residential centre?
Yeah, there's places for the women to stay and they get fed and they get looked after. They're there to be cared for and to be taught as well.
Ah, right, okay. So... right, okay. That's what I was just wondering whether it was like a centre that you just go in for almost like a day centre.
Yeah, well, there are women can go there to learn as well. So at first the places are filled up by vulnerable women and orphans, people who've been cast out from their families.
Yeah.
And then it's also open to other people to pay to come. So it's free for anybody who's in a bad situation, and then other women can come there to learn. A lot of education isn't free in Lesotho.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that we do take for granted here, isn't
Completely,
it?
yeah.
That, I mean, yes, okay, when you're an adult and you pay your tax and national insurance, you are paying for education, but we don't pay for it directly, do we? It's sort of free for... Well, it's free for every child to go to.
Yeah, I know we definitely do take it for granted, yeah.
Definitely. So I understand that the centre has kind of a holistic approach to education as well. It's not just sort of sitting you down and teaching you your maths and your... whatever the equivalent is of English over there.
Yeah, they teach useful skills to the women. So they teach them, as I said, animal husbandry and gardening, but also they teach them counselling, how to express themselves, and also how to reintegrate into the communities as a single mother. So really, by being at the centre, their lives are completely changed. I mean, like you said, they're 20%. They're likely to get 20% more in pay after just 1 year more of education, and they're twice as likely to send their children to school. So it completely transforms the community when women there are educated. It's a really, really important cause. It is the cure for poverty. It is the best way for us to change things in Lesotho, and people listening now can make a huge difference just by donating to this cause. It's a really amazing opportunity.
So obviously these women are going there and they're getting education. Are they then going on to find jobs, or what's the job situation there, or are they setting up their own businesses?
Yeah, the economy is kind of difficult for them. A lot of women are just scraping by. I mean, there are some women who've gone on with support of their families, have set up businesses. There is one woman whose name I can't even remember or pronounce, but she has gone on to set up a sewing business. She does decoration and sewing and making curtains for people. But she hopes one day to set up a school for women like herself. And we've actually got to Bello, she's bringing back a lot of the items that the women make in Lesotho and other market sellers in Lesotho like them for us to auction in Cardiff, so that you'll have a chance to buy or win any of the items that these women are making, and the money goes straight back to them into the charity.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
going to be happening. We're kicking it off on the 6th of February on Saturday, which is our music event. And then it'll carry on, and another date where you'll get a chance to see and feel and look at the objects properly, and more bids will hopefully come in. Hopefully we'll raise enough money now to hit our target.
Yeah. So what is your target?
Our target is something like £9,000. That's just a payback for all the equipment we've borrowed and for editing costs, and to get the film seen, hopefully. But if we don't reach the target, it's not the end of the world. We are going to get it out there. We're determined to get this documentary seen. But just with your help, it would make it so much easier.
Yeah, well, it does always help,
Yeah.
doesn't it? But so where would you envisage this documentary will be seen?
Well, we're hoping that it'll be seen on film festivals. At first, we're going to be applying for film festivals. I mean, ideally, I'd get this film on Netflix. I get it played on BBC Three. I get it seen everywhere. I know we don't care about if we make any money. We just want it seen. We want these women's stories heard, and we want people directed to the charity. So hopefully, you'll be seeing it on the screen near you soon.
Yeah, definitely. So how did you get involved?
I came across it really just randomly. I've wanted to be a producer for quite a while now. I was working in television. I've got some experience. And I was looking on Craigslist for something completely different, I think a sofa or something. And an ad near me came up for Cardiff for this film, and I emailed the director and the producer, and they wanted me on board. It was really lucky, because I've wanted to do something where I give back. For a really long time, I've wanted to do some volunteer work. But, I mean, going off to Africa to build houses seems like a waste of time when I don't know how to build houses, whereas I know how to produce a film, and I know how to fundraise, and I know how to write articles. So giving back with skills I already have and a job I want to be in makes this so much more powerful for me. I'm really excited to be on board,
Yeah. So are you going to actually get involved in any of the sort of the editing and the production?
It's being edited in New Hampshire, so unfortunately I won't get any say at all. I would really like to see it before it comes out. I'd like a preview, but unfortunately no, I've just got to wait. I've got to wait with all of you guys to see it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I bet that would have been interesting. So this is almost like an international thing,
It
this
is, yeah.
documentary.
We're doing everything online, so we're all communicating over WhatsApp and Facebook, which is why we've got such a big social media kind of thing going on. But yeah, the producer's in London, her name's Veronica Reichenberger, and the director's in Lesotho, but she's from Boston in the USA, and the editor's, I think, in New Hampshire. We've got a small Lesotho team of 2 transcribers and interviewees in Lesotho. So it's just a team of 6 women. It's really powerful. It's really nice to work with just women as well on a women's project. It's about strong women. That's what it's all about. So it's amazing to be part of this.
Well, just going back to the centre and the women in there, I think you kind of mentioned it, but I kind of wanted to put it into a sentence. It's like you're educating the women, so that then in turn they will carry on to educate their own children.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, the woman who set up her own business and then wants to carry on and educate others as well.
Exactly.
We kind of are. We are. We are teachers, aren't we? We pass on skills, information, those kind of things. That's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, a mother is so much to somebody, whether teachers, the nurses. Being a mother is you have a chance to make everybody's lives better. So that's why I think it's so important to educate women. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, there's no arguments with you here
No.
on that one. Now, you've mentioned that you are putting on a night of music. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, on the 6th of February, on Saturday at 4 bars, opening about 8 o'clock, we're going to have a night of Afrobeat and disco and funk DJ sets on and music, and then also the chance to start with the auction as well, so you can put on a bid for the auction. It's just going to be a night of fun, and £5 on the door, just a small donation, and it's all going back to the charity. And then eventually, hopefully, we're going to open an auction, further events and more stuff going on. We just want to see what's out there, who wants to come for the first one. So yeah, we'd love to see your faces there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to see what we can do about helping. Maybe see what we can do about that, helping you out with that one anyway. Have you got any sort of bands lined up, or is it just DJs?
We've got a couple of DJs hoping, but there's nothing big confirmed. We're maybe hoping somebody from Radio Cardiff will come along.
I'm sure we'll find someone from Radio Cardiff who will come down for you. That shouldn't be a problem. So, with all this going on, when is the kind of end date, if you like? Because obviously you're looking to create something, you're looking to create this documentary film and then sort of put that out there.
Yeah, It's being edited now through towards the end of February through, until maybe May, and then it's hopefully going to come out in springtime. Mm-hmm. So that's when the film hopefully will be coming out and entering film festivals and going into cinemas, and then towards the end of spring, that's when I'll be done. And that's when my contract will end.
Oh, right,
And that's
okay.
when I have to leave it and let it go, and hopefully people will still watch it and people will still see it, and it'll keep getting shown, and it'll... Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be amazing if it grew a huge following and people got really passionate about the cause.
Is it, I mean, I know you've talked a lot about social media and you're using it extensively with this.
Yeah.
Is it something like you could put the documentary on YouTube, for example?
Yeah, I mean, we've already got videos out there, and we will be, I hope, making small videos, clips and stuff, but we really want people to come and see the full documentary, because the money that it raises at cinemas and at film festivals will go back to the women.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about setting up a pay-to-view sort of thing, like you can pay for albums on SoundCloud that go straight to the artist, a sort of thing when people can see it online, because a lot of our following is online, and I think it will generate a lot of interest there. So there's a possibility for that, but that's way in the future. Yeah.
So what kind of following have you got for this project so far?
A lot of people who are interested in charities in Africa and in Lesotho. A lot of people who are just interested in independent filmmaking and women in film especially. So because it's an all-female film project, a lot of people have been supporting us that way. We've got a lot of feminist magazines who are interested in putting our story on, so hopefully those are going to be going out in the new year. Well, this year. Yeah. That's kind of the sort of base we've got, as a lot of people who are interested in the female side of it, but also just in general with the charity work and the cause and educating women and things like that. We've had quite a nice response so far. Yeah.
Well, it is, from the little that I've sort of found out, the information you sent me and having a look at the articles and that, it is something that, I'd love to see the documentary. I'd love to find out about. I'd love to hear some of these women's stories.
Yeah, I mean, they are amazing women. If you think what they've been through and that they've come out the other end and they've kept with their education and they've set up their businesses and they're looking after their children, the stories they have, I mean, they must be amazing. I've heard some of them and they're really, truly inspirational women.
What kinds of support or lack of whatever do these women get from the men in Lesotho?
Well, often... because of the economic situation, a lot of the women there are because of prostitution, so they're at risk of HIV and of also falling pregnant because they're prostitutes, because they have to support their families. They've got no tradable skills to make money otherwise. So a lot of the time there aren't men in the picture. They're single mothers, or it's not very. I mean, it's taboo to fall pregnant out of marriage. So oftentimes the men will disappear out of the situation, and also it's difficult for the men to find jobs. I mean, the economy there is really bad, so whole families can be very in a bad situation without education, without jobs.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's great what they're doing there, but it's just like one centre in what is a big country.
A huge country. It doesn't even have electricity. It's getting funding from NGOs, from Red Cross, from Letsma, I think Prince Harry even visited it once. But it isn't enough. I mean, people don't care enough about it for it to grow and expand. I mean, it's not enough. We need more. They need more help. They need more money. They need more people.
Yeah, but then... in some ways, like you mentioned, it's like if you give people the education and the skills to do it for themselves, that's what they want, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's an exponential growth for change. I mean, these women can go off and they can set up their own schools now, and it's microeconomics rather than just going in and giving them a pile of money or giving them shoes or giving them clothes. You're giving them the chance to make their lives better for themselves.
Yeah, and their children.
Yeah, exactly.
And their families. Yeah. So tell us about the crowdfunding page.
Oh yeah, the crowdfunding page hasn't gone so well. So it was set up before we had a huge following, and we haven't hit our target by any means. So anybody who donates now, will be greatly appreciated. It's the first thing you find if you Google Women of the Year Lesotho. I think it's the first page that comes up. It's got a lot of our information on there. It shows all of our team. It tells you a lot about our project. And also there's a chance to donate. But also coming to the events is also like a donation. And if you can't come to the events, or if you're not available, donating would do as much help to us. It'd be great.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, as we always say, every penny counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a chance. This donation isn't just like a donation to WaterAid where you're going to put wells in. You're donating to a cause that grows, that that gives the people in Lesotho a chance to better their communities for themselves, rather than just going in and giving them money, you're giving them a chance to make their own money. So it's in some ways is a better cause.
Is there any chance of you popping over there to visit?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, if everything goes well, I mean, I would love to. I would love to be able to meet the women.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us again about the event, just to remind listeners.
It's on the 6th of February, it's Saturday at 4 bars, about 8 o'clock, having DJs, Afrobeat, funk, disco. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be really fun. There's going to be a chance to enter the auction for some of the items that Tabella's bringing back from Lesotho from the women. So it's just going to be a great night, and hopefully it'll raise lots of money for the cause.
Okay, brilliant. So, well, like I said, I will, if you give me all the links and stuff after we come off air, I'll put the links onto my Facebook page, which is Radio Cardiff News, Views and Interviews. You can always actually, you need to like my page.
I shall do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mabel, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me on.
It's no problem at all. Right, that is pretty much it from me for today, and in fact from News, Views and Interviews this week. As I mentioned, you can like my Facebook page, which is Radio Cardiff News, Views and Interviews, and I put most of the links to all the interviews on there, so if you don't catch the websites, etc., you can always go on there later on. You can follow me on Twitter at MVI Cardiff. I did in fact tweet this morning as well. I don't do that every day, I do apologise. Coming up next, we have got Gail and Jeremy with the volunteer show, but I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock with the Friday show. I'll be here playing music. I was going to have an artist, a singer coming in to sing for us, but unfortunately she's lost her voice as well, like our breakfast shows, Georgina, so that'll be another time, but there'll be loads of good music anyway. Right, that is it from me for today. Enjoy the rest of Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow at 1. Take care, bye-bye.
This is Bitty McLean saying you're in tune to Jane Morris with news, views and interviews on Radio Cardiff 98.7 FM.
Cool.
Are you aged 16 to 30?